A very good morning to you. So much back and forth with Brain Molefe and so much else happening since we last heard about him. Just update us on where we are in the story.
Well, yes, good morning to you, Veka. Not much happening outside the North Gauteng High Court, but the action will begin at about 10 a.m. this morning. Brain Molefe is challenging the court's decision made in January to rule his reinstatement at Eskom CEO in May last year as unlawful, as well as that 30 million rand controversial pension payout, also deemed unlawful, 10 million of which was already paid out. So essentially, Brain Molefe, in many ways, walking the final legal mile here and being granted leave to appeal. The North Gauteng High Court wanting to hear his reasons as to why his reappointment at Eskom and that 30 million rand pension payout should not be deemed unlawful. The trade union Solidarity is going to be in court opposing his bid to have that decision appealed, and it'll be interesting to find out exactly what his line of argument is. We haven't been able to get the legal papers as of yet, but essentially, what legal footing will Brain Molefe argue on here? It dates back to the Thuli Madonsela state of capture report that was released way back in November 2016, which essentially put a whole raft of allegations at Brain Molefe's door about his dealings with the Guptas and also what many would believe just unsavory behavior as the CEO of a huge company like Eskom, with billions and billions of rands to ensure that certain contracts were dished out to certain individuals. Uveka.
All right, well, we're yet to hear Nickolaus what he has to say in court today, but he has tried to explain this away in the past. Just give us some idea of what he's had to say about this appointment. I mean, this has been going on now for quite some time.
Well, you know, when he returned to the Eskom to Eskom as CEO in May of last year, it was essentially in response to that controversial pension payout. I mean, Brain Molefe, a good couple of years before statutory retirement of 65, and yeah, I understand that a lot of people can take early retirement, but essentially, you know, Brain Molefe resigned as Eskom CEO after that state of capture report by Thuli Madonsela. And the decision to have the board's decision to reinstate him in May 2017 was essentially challenged by then Public Enterprises Minister Lynn Brown, and this is what Brain Molefe is fighting. He is trying to argue in court that his reinstatement as Eskom CEO was not only above board but needed, as his skills were going to be used to prevent things like load shedding. And essentially, Brain Molefe also arguing that he was entitled to that 30 million rand pension payout, 10 million rand of which has already been paid out to him as part of that payout. So Brain Molefe, like I said, walking that final legal mile, and one wonders whether or not he'll have any luck in court today with this matter having been drawn out now for a good couple of years.
Well, we already have Solidarity saying that he's postponing the inevitable, Nickolaus saying that the writing's on the wall for him. Do we know what Brain Molefe has been up to in all of this time anyway? Where's he been? What's he been doing while he's been waiting for this day in court?
Well, Iveka, we know that he popped up as a colonel in the South African National Defence Force. When that was a probe, that appointment, it was essentially brought to light that Brain Molefe was given that honorary rank in the army as part of his appointment to bolster the finance team at the South African National Defence Force. And apart from that, he's been keeping a fairly low profile. We know that after his first exit from Eskom in the wake of that state of capture report, he was an MP for a little while. There was all sorts of whisperings that he was the actual first choice as finance minister, but former President Jacob Zuma's appointment of Molefe as finance minister was blocked by the then top six of the ANC, and then we had Malusi Gigaba for a couple of months before he then in turn was replaced by Cyril Ramaphosa's first cabinet reshuffle, bringing in Nhlanhla Nene. So I highly doubt that he'll actually be in court today, Brain Molefe, but I promise you that that is going to be the first question I'll be asking asking if he does show his face at the North Gauteng High Court, we'll try and get comment from him as to what he's been up to as of late, and also if he actually believes he has any prospects of success in court today.
And where he's going to